We're with Will Malde, the Diggers head track and field coach, just returned from the state meet with a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. It was a good meet overall for us. There's a lot of things that we were looking forward to and want to see what kids could do. And they were on a great path here at the end of the year. With like our last video when we talked, we've had a lot of PRs. We had a lot of kids PRing at the right time between conference, the last chance meet. And the same thing continued when we went to state. Basically everything we took PR'd. There's a couple things that just missed or were real close to their best in the season, so it was a great day. Kind of the top people I want to point out a little bit would be starting off with James Burke. He ended up finishing third in the 100. Which was huge. That's where he was ranked coming in, but just the year before he barely got in the 100. And so for him to pull that off, and on Thursday we had a pretty nice day, and in that prelim he ran a 10.92, which was just for us the scorching 100, right there with the school record, so that was pretty awesome. And then he finished third in that, and Cruz Molman on Thursday as well finished fifth in pole vault, and he finished at 13.9. His best is 14 on the year. It tied the school record. He wanted 14.3 real bad, and he was close. But 13.9 was a good jump for him, and like I said, got him fifth on the medal stand. And then kind of a little bit of a tough thing that I'd like to talk about with Piper Rogers is she was really wanting to get in that pole vault podium. She had been looking at that all year long. Got injured at regions last year, and so she came in sitting in that top 8. And she cleared a couple of heights, and then unfortunately at 10.1, which would have been a PR for her, she came down a little weird on the mat and had a major dislocation of her elbow. And so wish the best for her and a quick recovery as she gets into this next year's sports coming up again. But that poor girl, just right at the end of the season, last 2 years in a row, been clipped by an injury. She still placed 11th even after having that happen. If she could have stayed a little better through that, I know she would have been on the podium. So a little tough for her, but from there, I mean, so kids did great things. Nakia Black finished in 10th in the 100. Kind of reset her own school record she had set earlier in the year, going down to 12.51. She had just missed in the 200, finished 9th. James Burke, same thing in the 200, finished 9th. Great runs for those kids. Addie Eastman set a PR in the 300 hurdles, finished 11th. Our girls 4x1 dropped another almost 0.2 of a second, finished 10th. And so, like I said, the list just kind of started to stack up of kids that were near misses on the podium, which is just tough. Proud of the kids' efforts. We had Nevada McMahon step into our 4x2 and try and help that out. And that Saturday, that was on Friday. It was just a rough day weather-wise. They kind of had a tough go there, but proud of her stepping in for Piper after she was hurt. Also a shout out to Zaid Seaman, our 8th grader. He's just snuck in at last chance in pole vault. PR'd by almost 2 feet to get into state, and then had to get another 6-inch PR to even clear a height. And then he did it. He got 11.3. Ended up finishing 16th at state. Just proud of that kid and what he was able to do, and just being with us for about 2 weeks. And then I'd like to give a shout out to Jocelyn Dirksen. She was part of that 4x1 that second half of the year, every time they ran it, they cut off time. She was our only senior that we took over there with us. And she's had a great run with us. Really appreciate all she's done for the program. And she was a good leader on that relay team, helping them get faster and faster. And I mean, just missing the podium. And then another person, just because I've gone through the whole group, Ada Carter was both in our 4x1 and 4x2, ran some really good legs there. She got to go as an alternate last year, but this year got to run. So just really excited about what the kids did. Obviously, we'd like to have more kids on the podium. I know a lot of them were a little heartbroken because they wanted to be on that podium real bad. But when you look at how we competed, where we stacked up and where we were at, all those kids are coming back with the exception of Jocelyn. So we're really excited for next season, letting these kids build on it. Cruz finished 5th in pole vault. All 4 of the kids ahead of him were seniors. James Burke, there's one senior ahead of him and another junior he was right behind. So it's just gonna be fun. These kids have a chance to do some really big things, adding on to the momentum from this year, and we're excited to see where that goes.
You mentioned Piper being back for the fall. A lot of these kids are multi-sport athletes.
Yeah, that's a big thing that we're pushing here, right? We want these kids to be involved in a lot of different sports, and a lot of these kids are doing that. And you talk about Piper Rogers, she's been, a quality player on the volleyball team, basketball team, and on the track team. Cruz Molman's been a big part of the football team, as well as he did wrestling in the past, and a great track athlete. James Burke, he was one I was really working on, who was a track kid this whole time, and I love that he is. But I was encouraging him to do different things, so he, stepped out into football and wasn't able to do basketball, but was looking at doing that as well. And again, you just go through that whole list of kids. Everyone we're talking about, Nakia Black, an outstanding volleyball player, did great things in basketball. Zaid Seaman's going to be solid coming up in high school here, playing football and being a wrestling guy as well. He did varsity wrestling as an 8th grader. Again, just this list of kids. That's one thing I'm really proud of, and I really push these kids to do is to be involved in other sports as well, as I think that helps all of our other programs and it helps them become better athletes all year round, get them more and more competitive. And so then we hit this spring season, as the weather gets nicer. Our goal always is, capitalize on all the work they put in all year long. Coach Corman does a good job getting those kids in the weight room and getting them lifting. And so we get to kind of reap the rewards of a lot of kids doing a lot of things. And so proud of the kids' involvement, and that's one thing we always keep pushing is help all the sports teams out, and at the end of the year, let's do some big things in track if we can.
Coach, always great to visit with you about the high school athletes, and thanks for taking time to recap that state meet.
Thank you guys for taking the time to come over and chat. I look forward to chatting with you some more next year. It's always good to talk about our kids.
Come on, Dakota!
Third and final section of the prelims.